What did you find in your spiritual practice that you couldn't find in the sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
No hangover.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. I can get really high from meditation, and I can get really energized with yoga. And it's the same kind of confidence and everything comes from your meditation. But then, yeah, there's no hangover and it's free. You don't wake up in the morning with a, oh, who is this stranger in my bed? And how much money have I spent? Feeling really sick. You just wake up in the morning. Me personally, I wake up in the morning. I can't wait to get on the yoga mat and start again. Start the day. I have
Mm.
another day. I have another day to live. Let me embrace this day and be the best person I can be today and do the best I can to try and help people today.
Tara, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
Now, straight away, I'm just going to throw to you. So, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, maybe where you've come from, what you're doing right now, and where physically are you?
Okay, my name's Tara Gardiner, author of A Lotus Trail. I'm 60 years of age, and the last 18 years I've been living in India. And I work for my guru here, running a Dharma center, and I also have an animal rescue project in the poorest state of India, which is really, really hard work. Hence all the wrinkles and the grey hair. But I grew up in London. I had an accident when I was 6 years old, when the doctor said I would be disabled for the rest of my life. And I spent most of my childhood in a wheelchair, on sticks and crutches, in and out of hospital, and thought that I was disabled for the rest of my life. And then one day I decided I didn't want to be disabled. I actually wanted to go and see the world. And I started to walk properly when I was about 15. And when I was 17, I got my first backpack and went only to Europe. And then at 21, I hit big time New York and hitchhiked around the world for 20 years, getting jobs here and there, rock and roll lifestyle, and doing everything the doctor said I shouldn't do, which also involved a lot of drugs and alcohol and all the naughty things that come from being out of your face and not knowing what you're doing.
Mm.
And then when I reached about 40, I was working in Thailand, selling jewelry on the beach, and I was out one day really drunk and behaving in my usual manner, taking my top off, showing my boobs to everyone, flashing my ass. And one Thai guy came up to me the next day and he said, "Tara, if you was 18 and you did that, everyone would really enjoy. But you're 40, your boobies are here, your bum, many, many pop, pop, pop. Everybody wanted to be sick." And that was a slap in the face to me to make me realize, yeah, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing at 40, still hanging around with 18-year-old backpackers, grasping, holding on to my youth. And then also my leg was damaging more from all the dancing and craziness. And I wanted to try and make my leg, no, I didn't want the knee replacement. So I was just trying to figure out how can I do something. And just by chance, I met some yoga teachers who taught me some yoga. It strengthened my knee. I started to walk properly. My leg was less painful. And then I realized I needed to study more yoga. And then I returned to India again after 20 years. Went in at ashrams, which is like a holy place to stay, where you do lots and lots of yoga. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't have sex, you don't eat meat, you don't do anything. It was a bit rough from partying in Koh Chang in Thailand, full power, to nothing. But it was the only way I could do it, because I was addicted to everything. Everything that I enjoyed, I was addicted within the minute I tasted it. So yeah, I locked myself away for about nearly 2 years, just doing yoga and finally detoxing myself. And then I met my guru, and he started teaching me and training me about the mind and how we can, everything outside of ourselves is our own mind projection, and how we are in control of our mind. We are our own master, and how we can make the beautiful life with the life we want to live just by our own mind. And so I still study with him. I'm here now in the Himalaya to be with him. And do some more studying. So that's a little introduction.
Yeah,
How's that?
beautiful. That's unreal. That is fantastic. I love it. That nutshell, that snapshot. So, when you were speaking, then what popped up with me was, what has been your relationship with authority?
I've always been scared of authority. I don't know why. I always have been. Maybe it was because my father was really strict. But yeah, I haven't. I feel sometimes, even when I've done nothing wrong, and I see like a policeman walking towards me, I instantly think, "Oh God, what have I done? What have I got anything in my pockets?" It's really, and even now clean, so clean, and I'm not. I abide by the law very strictly. Even now, when I see something, it's like, "Oh, what have I done?" It's a nerve wracking thing. I don't know why, but it's something I've looked into a lot. Even
Mm,
with my guru, sometimes if I see him getting a stern face, I'm like, "Oh." Yeah, he's the
yeah.
same age as me. We are very good friends, and it's strange that I could be nervous of him. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's that authoritative figure. I think
Yeah.
also because in school, I was dyslexic. I
Right.
missed a lot of school, and so I didn't really have much education. I'm a twin. My twin was top of the class, and I was bottom of the class. And the
Mm,
teachers were always telling me off. I was always, "Oh, you're not as good as your twin. Look how great your twin is. You're just useless. You're thick." Always sitting in the corner, sometimes just crying, runny, snotty nose, even peeing my pants sometimes because I just felt so bullied by the teachers
mm,
in school because they didn't understand dyslexia back in the 60s, and they didn't have time to try and help me catch up with the lessons I'd missed. It wasn't my fault I spent most of my life in hospital. And that they just stick me in the corner then. I'd stick her in the corner, let her do a jigsaw puzzle when everybody else was learning algebra and mathematics and didn't know anything, nothing. I even taught myself how to read and write by
mm.
doing crosswords and word searches. Then that's where you learn. There's like a load of letters on a page, and you've got to look in them letters and find one word. It might be like fruit or apple or something, but it's really good for me to learn the shapes of the letters, and then I start to learn what letter was which and how these letters went together to make a word. And eventually, with crosswords, I kind of learned bigger words and how to write and read. I taught myself because
Yeah,
the
well,
school just
Tara.
wasn't teaching me.
Yeah, what I hear is that, like, for your entire story's been a case of people telling you that you're gonna be a certain way, or you're always gonna be this way, or you have to be this way, and you're saying, "No, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna be who you tell me I am. I'm gonna discover who I am for myself."
Yeah, exactly. Even my parents were telling me when I was young, "Oh, you're going to get married and have 6 children." And I thought, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have 6 children. I can't even look after myself. And so, it's something inside me always knew there was more to life than what I was brought up to believe this is what life is. You go to school, you get married, you have children. You struggle all your life to feed your children, and then you get retired and you get a pension. Then
Mm.
maybe your children will look after you, maybe they won't.
Like, because you embody this way of your own individual life, and what do you think is the appeal of staying to the habits that you're told to stick to? Like, the people that do abide by that rhetoric of, "You're gonna get married, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that." What's the appeal, do you think, for people to stay there?
I think it's fear. It's
Mm,
because everyone else is doing it, and this is what you believe you should be doing. And so people are scared to break out of the comfort zone of that. Oh, this is what everyone does, and this is what I should do. But because of my injury, and I'd spent so many years, especially from the age of about 7, I was on morphine. So I had a
wow.
whole different like outlook on life, especially with my mind, with the drugs, and then also I'd spent so many years in a hospital bed, and then it was like, no, there's more. There's got to be more to life than this. And
Mm.
yeah, and it's just breaking out of your comfort zone. If people just want to stay in that comfort zone because it's easy. It's not hard work.
Mm. Yeah,
Everything they
thank
know
you.
what everything is.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I really hear people it's comfortable to stay in that comfort zone, it's
Yeah.
safe. So, in the context of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like, what do you think the appeal is in sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
Freedom is when you start to take drugs or alcohol, all of a sudden everything drops. And you just get this freedom and you can conquer the world and you're the best and you're this courage comes, and all your ego is dropped because the alcohol takes over, or especially like cocaine. You get so much energy and you think you're the number one and you're running around and you can do anything. You're unstoppable. And that freedom comes. And I think that for me, that was my appeal with the drugs, especially my first drugs I started was marijuana and just some kind of confidence. I felt confident and yeah, that I wasn't this dopey little girl that was dyslexic and disabled and nobody liked her. She can sit in the corner and do a jigsaw puzzle. I was this girl that could do anything that I wanted to, and that was through drugs. It was because of the drugs and the alcohol and everything. This courage comes, and this courage is so strong. You just like, yeah, you can do whatever you want when you're high. I mean, you see people two different personalities. Well, I don't know, sober personalities or quiet. Then the few drinks. I mean, going to any pub in 10 o'clock at night. Wow, everyone in there is so strong and powerful. But you go in at 7 and it's all a little bit quiet. No one's drunk yet, and all of a sudden the drinks start kicking in. Boom! Everyone's crazy. It's a courage, isn't it?
I really hear the courage piece. So, when you transition from, like, moving into yoga and these other practices, what did you find in your spiritual practice that you couldn't find in the sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
No hangover.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. I can get really high from meditation, and I can get really energized with yoga, and it's the same kind of confidence and everything comes from your meditation. But then, yeah, there's no hangover, and it's free. You don't wake up in the morning with a, oh, who is this stranger in my bed? And how much money have I spent? And feeling really sick. You just wake up in the morning. Me personally, I wake up in the morning. I can't wait to get on the yoga mat and start again. Start the day. I have
Mm,
another day. I have another day to live. Let me embrace this day and be the best person I can be today and do the best I can to try and help people today. And then through yoga, I get my energy, I get my focus in my meditation, I get this openness in my heart that I feel I can love people, even people I don't like, and be patient and tolerant, and just go through the day and just be the best version of me that I could possibly be. But
mm,
I personally need yoga and meditation to put me there.
mm,
Sometimes you can wake up, you might have had a bad dream, or you got some personal problems and you're thinking too much about those, and then you hate the world and everything is grey and miserable and you don't want to talk to your neighbor. Go away. And then for me, I might feel like that some mornings, but then as soon as I get on the yoga mat, I look at the sunrise or the tree or just a bird flying, then it's like, oh, there's more to life than just my own emotion inside. What's going on inside
mm.
me? Look outside. Let's go out there. Let's embrace the world itself. Sometimes it's
Beautiful.
nice to just go for a walk with nowhere to go. Just get up and go for a walk where there's nowhere to go and just go and see what happens. Living in
Mm.
India, that's always an adventure. Because India is so crazy. Nothing works here. Everything happens. Everything happens. It's a real crazy place.
Yeah,
I
wow.
love it here. Really.
It's been many years since I've been to India. I went there with my mother and father when I was about 8 years old to see, to see a guy called Sai Baba. My dad likes Sai Baba, and, yeah, I hung out in his ashrams for a bit and followed him around, but I haven't been back since, and I can feel it calling me to go back there and experience everything, like, just the intensity of smells and emotion, just it all. So I'm super keen. I love that you mentioned before about
Yeah.
hangover. So the hangover, and I know that I've got mates that still love getting wasted, and there's something in the competition of the hangover, so to see how wasted you get and how look at like a celebration of how hungover that you get. So in that celebration of like, I see a hangover like a bit of self-destruction, a bit of regret, something else that's there. So in your experience of the hangover, uh, what's the appeal to to keep on going back to it?
Sometimes when you've got a really bad hangover, the only cure is the hair of the dog, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And to keep going back to it, I think is just habit. You've nothing else to do. There's too much time. There's a 24 hours in a day. And if you're sober, like the however many hours you are awake, the day is long. When especially if you're used to going out and maybe 10 hours or one day, 3 days drunk, and then one day, 2 days in bed hungover, and then you're not doing that anymore. Wow, that's a long week.
Right.
And every day is a struggle because when I go back to the UK now and I want to meet my friends, oh, it'll be meet in the pub at 7 o'clock. And I go there and it's somewhere I really don't want to be or go. And
Right.
everyone they don't understand. I say, oh, can we go to a coffee shop? They wouldn't understand the coffee shop. Wouldn't understand, let's go out and just have a nice meal or let's go for a walk in the park. That's boring. And I mean, I think from a young age when you first start drinking and then you're drinking, it's just the habit of it. You can't think outside of that little box of going out and having fun involves drinking. Anything outside of that is really
Mm.
boring. And yeah, it's really sad because I was like that myself. I mean, if someone didn't drink, I didn't want them in my company. I certainly
Yeah.
didn't want to go out with someone that was going to just sit and drink Coca-Cola. I want people there that's going to get as wasted as I am. And I don't want someone to tell me, "Oh, you did this last night and you did that last night." It's like just want to get wasted together and let's all be stupid and do the silly, stupid things. But the
Mm.
hangover, oh, they last too long. The last time I had a drink, a real drink, it could be 10 years ago, is like the hangover was at least 3 days. And I said to myself, never again. Although I'd said that a million times before in my life, that time I really, really meant it. Never again. Oh God, it was too
Mm.
much. You just you can't get up, you're laying there, you feel sick. And yeah, so the next best thing to do is have a beer, have a hair of the dog. And it just rolls
Mm.
on and rolls on.
Right. Yeah, because in
I'm so happy
Australia
to be clean.
yeah, yeah, great, yeah, it's did you say it's great to be clean?
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Australia, we have a
Yeah,
huge drinking culture, like huge. Like any
yeah, like
excuse
you
to have a
can.
beer or a drink or anything, it's like, "Nah, come and have a drink with me," you know? And then when you don't wanna have a drink, there can be this like an alienation almost, like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, "Why aren't you drinking?" Like, "Can I get you something else? Can I get you a something?" It's the
I hate it
awkwardness.
with you want one.
Yeah, you know
You know
you
if you have a oh, you want one. No, I actually
you
don't.
want a sip of wine.
But I was just in Goa. My friend was drinking cocktails, and you get 2 for 1 in the happy hour. So she gave me one, and I said, "You're looking at that, seeing a lovely pina colada. I'm looking at that, seeing my head over the toilet, vomiting all night, and 3 days in bed. That's what
Mm.
I'm seeing. I'm not seeing a delicious coconutty rum drink. There's a difference of perception on it." Because I might have one. It's never one.
Yeah,
It's
it's never
always
one.
one's too many, a thousand's not enough. It's never one. There will always be
Mm.
two. Oh, let me buy you one back. Oh, let's have one for the road. And I know it. After 3 or 4, I'm definitely head over the toilet, throwing up all night. I can't take it. I can't drink it anymore. And people, when they're still drinking and they're drinking like 3 or 4 nights a week, then they don't ever get that state. They never get to that point of vomiting in the toilet. It's just because I don't drink now, I feel it really strong, really,
Yeah.
really strong. Even the smell now, I can get like, wow, that's really strong. Woof, like
Mm.
petrol fumes. Really
Yeah, wow.
hard.
Yeah, thank you. I think there's a I know for me, like, I used to smoke a lot, cigarettes, and then at some point my body just started hiccuping. As soon as I inhale one, my body was hiccup, and this visceral reaction to smoking. I was like, I can't smoke anymore. My body just will not allow me to do it. So now even the smell of cigarette smoke, I can feel I'm super sensitive to it, and I just feel nauseous. So there's something I think
Yeah.
when you say a real like a full body, full visceral, full godly no, that your body just goes a complete 180 and you cannot touch whatever the substance was that you was your escape.
I know, and a lot of people don't understand, and that's the hardest part. You know, I mean, people. This is one thing. I mean, I wrote my book.
We'll do plenty of plugs in your book. What's the name of your book? What's the name of your book again?
A Lotus Trail.
The Lotus
It's a
Trail.
story. It's in two parts, actually. The first part is of me hitchhiking around the world, sex, drugs, rock and roll. And the second part is how I managed to give it all up and stay on the path through yoga and meditation. And then the last bit is lockdown, when I saw the suffering in the world and I wanted to help people. And that was why I wrote the book, because I didn't know how I can help people in a soft way, not in their face, in a way where if you want it, you can have it. If you don't need to take it. So I thought, I write the book, I do the book. I already
Mm,
wrote it, started it 20 years ago. So I'll finish the book, put the book out there, and then it's there. If you want it, you can read it. If you don't, you leave it. And so it's
mm.
not forceful, it's in a gentle, soft way. But there's so much information and help in there for people really if they need it, if they're ready, because I can't help anyone unless they want to be helped. You
Yes.
know, you can't turn around and tell someone, oh, you know, okay, I'll help you stop drinking, but you really, that person needs to, the first part, they need to really want to stop. And I'm
Thank you.
so glad I did. Really, I
Mm,
am so glad, because people just, they cannot understand that, that I'm thinking to write another book. This one is about getting clean, and I'm thinking about writing another one of staying clean, staying
mm,
clean, and the problems that will arise in your life when you do get clean. Because just now I was in Goa for a holiday, and people were like, "Oh, come out tonight. Let's go to this bar." Da, 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 da. And it's like, I don't want to. I really
yeah.
don't want to. I find it really heartbreaking to go into a bar and see everybody out of their heads and taking drugs and getting drunk and wasting their lives. We've just come out of a pandemic. Now we should be raising the vibration. We should be embracing each other. There should be lots of love in the world, realizing the interconnectedness of everything. But no, it was still, we're still very much in the lower chakras. We're still very low vibration, quite a lot,
Yeah.
the human race. And so, yeah, that was another reason why I wanted to try and write the book. I just want to try and this, I'm not holier than thou. Try and rise the vibration a little bit. Let's try and get everybody up a little bit into the higher vibration to understand the connectedness of the whole universe
Yeah.
and
Thank you, Tara.
how important we are.
Yeah, and I think story is a really powerful way to do that. Like being able to have like, especially in your story, like being told that you're going to be like disabled for the rest of your life, and then being told that you're
Mm.
going to have to live a life this way, then going to school and being told you're going to be this way, and then living the life, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll life, and then believing that that's the way you're going to be, and then having the epiphanies of I can't live this way anymore, and then transitioning out of that at such a late stage in your life to living who you are right now with this level of humor and presence and intelligence, and writing a book to give people a way out. Like I really feel like that way of story is so powerful because it's humbling that you're not lecturing people, right? It's like, this is my story, and if I can do it, surely you can do it too, right?
Yes,
And
that
then
is the main message.
mm,
Because I was heroin addict, crackhead, cocaine, anything going. I take my first beer, and then whatever drugs is going, I want them. And I
mm,
didn't care what I did to get them. I could give my body just to get a sniff of cocaine off somebody, you know? Whatever you want me to do to you, I'll do it. Just give me that drugs and let me
mm,
get high. And I was rock bottom. I mean, it's in the book also, is like When I really realized I was rock bottom, tried to commit suicide, really messy. Drank some whiskey and swam out to sea to try and drown myself because I knew that I was so addicted to all of these things and I was just couldn't give up one. Let's try give up the alcohol, all the drugs, all the cigarettes, all the sex, or just giving your body away to everybody. Let's try and give up one. I couldn't give up one. And I
Mm.
was rock bottom, really. I woke up in my little hut. It's the start of the book on the back page. You'll see it surrounded by 5 naked Thai men and empty beer bottles, with no idea how I got there and what had gone on the night before. No idea. And that was when I realized you are really rock bottom now. And I was 40 years of age. So that was my turning point. For me, I had to really go down low, down to the ground. And
Mm.
a lot of it was self hatred as well. I don't know why I hated myself so much. I think I hated myself because of my addictions, my dependency on all of these things. And what I did when I was drunk. I'd wake up in the morning, I think, oh no, I did that. Oh God, I can't believe I did that. And then the next day, I think, oh well, to cover that, I'll do something worse. And then they'll
Yeah.
forget that I did that. And then so I would just sometimes wake up and think, oh my God, a memory of something I did. I need to drink beer. I can't face anybody today. And it's a
Mm.
very vicious circle, very, very vicious. And the hardest part is you've got to let go of so many friends. You've got to let go. That's why I came to India and I put myself in an ashram where I knew nobody and I could be the person I wanted to be because friends will bring you back, keep dragging you
Yeah.
back. They don't mean it nasty. I'm sure they love me, but they just don't want you to stop because you're their entertainment. Give her a drink. We've got entertainment for the whole night. They don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose that. And so I
Yeah.
really had to just cut it all. And it was painful and it took a lot of courage, especially to come to somewhere like India. Oh my
Mm.
God. But I had to do it. I had to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive now. I wouldn't be alive. I'd have been dead by 41, the
Yeah,
way I was going.
wow. Wow. Well, you spoke to a lot there, and thank you. And I'd love to ask you the sensation of rock bottom, because I hear rock bottom a lot. I had to hit rock bottom before I needed a change. And that rock bottom can be different for different people. So for you, that waking up with those 5 naked Thai men and having that epiphany, like what's the sensation of rock bottom for you?
Death is the only way out. That was
Mm.
how I felt that day. And that was the day after I'd done the messy suicide. But to me, it was just like, wow, there's no way out of this now. I'm really trapped. I was like you're in like a bottomless pit. You hate yourself. You can't see beauty in anything. I was living on a tropical paradise beach in Thailand, and I couldn't see the beauty in any of it. And it was just like, yeah, if I could just die now, this would be the only way out. It's the only way out. Maybe I'll go and get a big loads of whiskey and lots of drugs and OD. That would be the best
Mm.
way to go. You think like that's how I was thinking. I don't know other people, but that's how I was thinking.
Well, that
And
one
then I
makes
don't
sense
know.
to me. Like, that one, like, if it was what anywhere I would wanna go, it would be in the ocean. Like, I just feel like
Yeah,
that would be bliss for me. Um, and I know a lot of people fantasize about, like, there's the passive ideation of wanting to die, and fantasizing that what would life be without you, and then the ideation, the suicidal ideation attempt, like actually taking attempts to leave this planet. And then what I hear under that is, like, I no one's ever gonna love me for who I am. And then what am I even doing here? Who what's the purpose of being human? What's what was I brought onto the planet for?
yeah.
And can I find humans that are gonna love me for who I am, even though of all the stuff that I've done?
Yeah, and that was what it was. I just didn't feel loved by anyone. And the thing is, when you're in that circle, the people that are around you are only around you if you're out to party. If you're
Right.
laying in bed with your hangover, you don't see anybody. no one's coming around, then you might get a phone call or a text. Oh, we're all down here. Come. Oh, I can't. I'm so hungover. But could you bring me a bottle of water? Oh, not right now. We're really busy in the party. There's no real friendship, no bond there. And it was the first time I ever met a Tibetan master when I came to India. My very, very first guru. I won't say his name, but the very first time I saw him, I felt love like I'd never felt love before. Like you see in the movies, like you hear in all the songs, which we're always searching for, aren't you? But I just couldn't believe it. This guru is in his 17th reincarnation, and he's just love and compassion in everything about him. And the first day I saw him, I couldn't breathe, and I was wanting to vomit, go to the toilet, sit down, stand up, scratch. I just couldn't work out what was it. And he was 17 years of age. And I'm like, what is this in front of me? I can't believe what is this in front of me. It was the most amazing sensation I had ever had. And then I thought, I can't leave. I'm 40 years of age. I've backpacked the world for 20 years. I know everything. What's this 17-year-old going to be able to teach me? And then it was like, wow, I've been doing it wrong all my whole
Mm.
life. This is the way the life should be. I need to stay. And then, yeah, I've been in India 18 years now because of the gurus, really, because it's just like the most amazing feeling of love you're ever going to feel in your life, ever, because there's no conditions, there's
Mm.
no judgment, there's nothing. It's just, I see the goodness in you. And I felt so worthless coming from my lifestyle into this pure place where everyone is like kind of holy, and they're all monks and nuns, and they got their mullahs, and they know their mantras, and they're doing all this pure stuff. And I don't know. I'm looking, where's the bottle shop? Where am I going to get a beer after this? This is, and I'm just standing there, and I've no idea. And I see this guru, and it's like all of a sudden he saw the goodness in me that I couldn't even see, and he showed it to me, and he showed me this love that I'd never felt ever in my life. And yeah, it was amazing. And he puts you in this space where everything just becomes one. All of a sudden, you can't talk, you can't, you're just there, and it's like, oh, silence, an amazing silence, and everything. You just can feel you are the tree, you are the leaf, you are the bird, you are everything around you, and everything around you is you. It's the most amazing sensation you'll ever know. And I mean, if I was to go to my drinking friends and say, "Oh, I found my guru," oh, what drugs have you got now? Oh, well,
Mm.
you did too many drugs. You just really messed up. It's two different lifestyles. And as I said, you've really got to let the other one go. Not
Yeah.
completely in the beginning. In the beginning. Now I feel really strong and centered that I can now go back to that life and try and help people, not in a condescending way, not in a
Mm.
judgmental way, not in I'm better than you. No, because I know most of the people there are as trapped as I was, and I know they want to get out, and they just don't know how, because that's
Yeah.
all they know. I bring my guru to the UK every year, and I take him to all the places and try and show everybody to meet him, because I just want everyone to feel that amazing bliss that I felt, to see there is the more powerful than any alcohol, any drugs, any orgasm, million times more powerful, just sitting in his presence. Really. It's
Mm.
amazing. I don't need anything but my guru, really.
Yeah, I really feel that unconditional love and being able to see into the human, doesn't matter what you've done or what you're going to do, is I see you for who you are. How grounding and validating and infectious that is, right? Because you want everybody like this is if it feels better than any drug or any orgasm, it's like like this is what you're missing. This is what your human experience could be like. Just be with this guy because once you get the template of what that feels like, you become like a lighthouse for that, right? And then people come
Yes.
to you. It's like, oh, what's Tara? What have you got? Like, what is this? what are you doing? What drugs are you on right now? Because I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
feel you. What is it? So, no, it's yoga. It's my guru. It's this. These are my spiritual practices. This is my it's my abstinence. It's my letting go of that old model and stepping into this different way of that's been around for thousands of years. This practice. Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's the most ancient practice in the world. We just forgot about it because we got absorbed in our greed and our desires, really, our desire for more, more, more. With the spiritual practice of nothing, nothing didn't satisfy us anymore. We needed, and now today, look at it. Oh my God, the world. We're killing each other for our greed.
Mm,
Now we can't even see the brotherhood in anything, and it's
yeah.
like really so sad, really. This, I mean, I don't even say this is my friend. Oh, I don't know her. Everybody is a human being, and we are all here, and we should support and love each other. If COVID didn't teach us that, what the hell was it for?
Yeah.
This is how
Thank you.
I when I got actually stuck in Delhi, the biggest COVID hub in India during the peak of pandemic, and I saw the fear and everybody's just how much they valued their lives and their children and their family and the fear within them. And it was like, I just wanted to help. I really
Yeah.
just wanted, how can I help? And I've got all this ancient wisdom. I've been with my guru now 18 years, I think I said already. And he's training me in Tantra. Now, Tantra doesn't mean sex.
Yeah.
Tantra is visualization practice and mantra. And he's training me with this. And this is the most amazing, powerful thing we have on the planet. And it's like, I want to share what I've learned. I've went
Mm,
through 18 years of hardship to reach where I've reached, but I can help someone reach it and within not 18 years. You don't have to go and spend
yeah.
2 years in an ashram. You don't have to come to live in India where nothing works. It's lucky if you've got running water. Today we had no electricity and I thought, oh no, I hope the electricity comes back. It's everything is really difficult here, and it's like you don't have to go through that. I've gone through that, so I can help you in the comfort of your own home and try and
Mm,
share what I've learned with you to help you reach a really nice place within yourself where you can love yourself and have a really beautiful life, the life you deserve, the life that you should have. And let me help. And that's all I want to do. I want to help other people.
mm. What's the name of your book again?
A lotus trail.
A Lotus Trail. Great.
It's, it's me.
I love it. I love it. So, in the context of yoga, I'm going to keep on mentioning your book because I love the name Lotus Trail. I love it. The lotus growing in mud. I love the whole
Yeah, the
concept.
lotus, that's what it's referring to. The lotus is in the mud, which is where I was.
Yeah.
And then I managed to grow and walk the lotus trail to my spiritual path. And
So,
because
in
I
the
mean,
context,
most of the work I'm doing is voluntary. I don't even get a salary because I'm
mm,
these kind of things, you start to trust the universe and things
yeah,
will come.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's another stage in the spiritual growth, like being able to move from like the old way, like relying on money, the 9 to 5. Where's my next hit coming from? To now I'm surrendered, and now I want to take this back into the world to be of service. I don't know. For me, in my journey, it's being able to trust and take the action, like be of service. And when I am of service, the resources come, and just trusting that whoever I meet on my journey, I'm also helping on their pathway to
Yes.
inner love and inner awakening, is remembering who they are. Um, so in the context of yoga, where because there's yoga and then there's yoga, right, Tara? So with this westernized version of yoga, when someone says, "Oh, I'm doing yoga," like jumping on the mat, getting their butt all nice and tight, and doing all these technical poses, like where have we kind of gone astray here?
I think because in the West, a lot of people are still looking outward. So they want the beautiful body. They want the yoga and they get the buzz from yoga, like they get their buzz from their alcohol and their drugs and their sex. So they want that buzz and they want the sexy body. And they got, but in India, it's more about going inside and working with your channels and your wind and developing inside, trying to open the knots, what they call chakras. We've got all these knots, trying to open these knots. And so it doesn't matter if you're fat, thin, or what you're wearing. I mean, the yoga clothes that you see some people wearing now, it's like, oh my God, they could buy my rent for a year in India, just some of the pants that they've got, you know. So, but in India, because India, I feel, it hasn't developed as much as the Western world. It's still really deep rooted in that the beginning of time where everything first started developing. I mean, I live in the poorest state in India, and it's really I shouldn't say backward, but it's undeveloped. And it's everyone there is really living on the street with nature and not afraid of nature. They don't need to hide and lock the doors and do everything inside. Everything is out in the open, and there's this real bonded connection. And that this is also yoga. Yoga is about bonding and connection with every movement that you're doing, not just 1 hour on the yoga mat and then you get off the yoga mat and you start running off to go and do whatever it is you've got to do. It's keeping
Mm,
that getting that inner energy and keeping it in the awareness there and bringing it out into everything you do throughout the day, you know. And yeah, it's not just being so attached to all the material things. I think a lot of people go for yoga is to get the tight body, and in the
mm,
West, it's become more of a aerobics and
mm.
than less more of a spiritual journey. I
Yeah,
personally
thank you,
see.
Tara. Yeah, yeah, that's what I see, and I love what you said there before about the buzz, because there can be a real buzz in yoga, like the yin or whatever the practice is that you do, and you can get on the mat and yeah, oh, I'm really getting into that muscle, I'm getting into that joint there, that feels really good. But then as soon as you get off the mat, like all of those practices and that presence just goes. Like it's like you roll it up with your mat, and then
Yeah,
you go home and you eat unconsciously, you kind of converse unconsciously, you drive like a mad person between the yoga studio and your house, yelling at people that are cutting you off or whatever it is. So there's
yeah,
real
exactly.
presence, right? The presence is gone. So what's missing in the yoga teacher's practice to teach the yogi what the real essence of yoga was about?
I personally feel it's there's not enough inward work.
Right.
You know, you have to go in, you have to feel what's coming up. Feel, oh, I'm a bit angry, or I'm a bit I don't feel good today, or it's not so much on the muscles. Yeah, the muscles are there, but I feel that it's more on the energy. Feel
Mm,
feel what's going on, and then oh, I feel angry. Why is she so close to my mat? How come she can do the posture and I can't do the posture? Feel this energy. Where is it? Where is it rooted? Where is it coming from? And
mm.
sit and work with that energy until you can dissolve it into nothing, because
Right,
actually it doesn't really exist.
right. Thank you. So when you say working with the energy, I'd love to go deeper into this because the inner work. I mean, there's the when something comes up. Like sometimes I feel like there's a pressure for me to try and work out why I'm feeling this instead of just being with the energy, like with the frustration or the anger or the sensation of whatever I think it is, and the meaning that I'm giving it. So in the context of going inward, what's the what's the gem, the nugget of being with sensation?
Really feeling it,
Really feeling it.
feel it, touch it, hold it. You know, a lot of people might start to feel like that there's an emotion coming that they don't like, and they just try to brush it down, push it down, put it away there, press it down there somewhere. But no, feel it. You've really got to feel it and dissect it. Chop it into a million pieces. Try and think, why am I feeling this? Where is it coming from? And then once you really get down to the nugget of it, it's not there. It's not really
Mm,
there. but you have to dissect. I mean, most children are born and the parents have not got a guidebook on how to raise a child. So a lot of the stuff that adults that we feel has come from our childhood, and it's deeply rooted and deeply buried. And so you really need to go in there and find the root of why do I feel like this? Why am I always doing this same circle? The same problems, the same pattern. Why do I always react like this when this happens to me? Why can't I
Mm.
control my anger? Why do I always want to beat this woman in the queue? Its basket has got so many groceries in it. Now I'm 1 second longer in the line.
Yeah.
Go in there, go and see, why does this same patterns keep happening? And just go deep within yourself. And sometimes it can be something from childhood, but once you get it and you touch it and you just chuck it, chop, 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 and throw it away. It's not serving you. It's not going to help you with anything.
Mm.
Chuck it out. Fill it with love.
Yeah, thank you, Tara. Like, when you were speaking, that I visualized myself like on the mat, right? And then the leaders at the front, and they say, "Do the sun salutation" or whatever, downward dog or something. And then something will come up when I'm in downward dog, and then instead of being with it, I'm like, "Oh no, now I need to do the next move," right? So, and then when I move into the next move, like I forget what the feeling that I was being through, so that I feel like there's a I'm following this habitual like performance, but missing out on that inner peace. 'Cause I know that inner peace is there in me, but I don't want to look bad for the teacher. Like the whole class has moved on to the next step, so I obviously need to do the next thing. Otherwise, I'm not going to get my money's worth, right? But there's this whole thing of like, well, what would you say to that?
I think, well, I'm just going to say the thing is, this is the mind running. So you just need to stay with the breath. When you're in that posture, even though if people are moving into the next one, take that posture into the next one. There is no two postures, it's all
Right.
one. So, and you can only find that connection is with the breath. So when you're in your downward dog and you've got to then move into upward dog or something, you just breathe and breathe again as you're coming into the next posture, and keep the breath. The breath is the most important thing that we have. It keeps us alive, for one, the most important, but it is what leads us to the next movement, to the next step, to the next place. And it's the breath. We just need to really keep with the breath. And yoga, I think, the breath is really the most important part of it also. The breathing into a posture, breathing out of the posture, and feeling the breath, and feeling the breath outside of your body. All right, you can breathe and feel it in and out, coming here and there, but then when you breathe out, feel it with everything around you. Every
Mm.
single thing around you is also breathing. Just connect with it. Yeah, I think the thing there is breath. Continue in the flow. I don't go to classes anymore. I do my
Mm.
own yoga because sometimes I might not want to come out of downward dog. I might want to stay there for another 2, 3 minutes. And so, yeah, I actually do my own. I did 3 yoga teacher training courses. So that, because most of the reason I studied yoga in the beginning was I don't want a knee replacement.
Yep.
So I had to study all the yoga found and get the foundations of all of it so that I knew what I was doing for my own health. And so then I decided, after when I learned everything, I feel I could, oh, there's always space to learn more. But when I knew enough to do my own practice, I do my own practice now because I'm doing yoga mainly for health. And I'm trying to avoid a knee replacement and a hip replacement. And it's yoga
Mm.
every day that just puts everything, slots it all in, and I'm good.
Beautiful. So what are you creating next? Like, what are you I know you said you might write another book,
Yeah, I'm
or you're
planning to
writing.
find time to do it, write another book about getting clean, staying clean, because that's the thing I find a lot of people struggle with. They might give up the drink and they might go a whole week. Wow, I'm going to celebrate with a beer. I did a whole week. I can do it. I'll have a beer. Or, yeah, and again, the friend circle, the circle of friends, will always be dragging you back. So I'm thinking of writing something around once you actually are clean, how to stay clean, and little tools on how to keep on the right path. But my
Mm,
next move, I actually would like to become an online life coach, and people
beautiful.
can contact with me, and we can set up a little program so that I can help them privately
Beautiful.
in their own home. No one needs to know what they're doing. I'm not going to tell anybody. And we can have private little sessions online, and they can open their heart to me and tell me whatever they want. I'm not going to judge anybody. There's nothing anyone's done that I haven't done, and I've done worse. So
Thank
I've
you,
got no
Tara.
judgment.
Yeah, and I think that I've got a friend who has done like the AA program, and lots of people have gone and tried to go through AA, and they get stuck on certain steps, or they haven't got the validation, or the sponsor's just not helping them. And I really feel like unconditional love and being holding this non-judgmental space really releases the shame that keeps people trapped in the cycle of addiction. So having gone through what you've gone through, have such love and compassion for the old version of you, and the humor about it as well, right? So being able to laugh at what you were, who you were, and who you are right now really emanates that unconditional love that I think people just really want to feel, and that can be the juice to propel someone out of that addiction into that state of celibate of soberness into whatever the next trajectory, and the advice as well, of course, like who are the people in your life that are most likely going to drag you down? It's like, oh, my mum's going to do this, or this mate from work that I've been hanging out with, who's ending relationships, who's struggling at life, who hates his job. Like those are the people that you're going to need to say, hi, I love you, and I need to say goodbye at some level. I can't have you in my life. So having that
Yeah,
advice, counsel is like, so where are you at in that journey of becoming this life coach?
I'm just starting.
Great.
I'm just would like this is my very first podcast, and I'd like
Yeah.
to I'd like to make some more and just put myself out there. And if I connect with anybody or anything I'm saying helps anyone, they're welcome to contact me through my website,
Yeah.
taragardiner.org.
Great.
And
Tara
then
Gardiner, was it taragardiner.org?
yeah,
Great. Fantastic.
and then they can contact me there, and then we can do discuss and see whether I'm good enough for them or whether I can help them at all. uh, but the key point for me is, I think at the beginning, especially with some people, this one-on-one in private, I think, is really important,
Yeah.
because when you're sitting in a group thing like AA, it's really hard for you to open your heart and your mouth and speak,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of shame. There is so much shame there. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. There is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you.
and I personally feel I have the experience, and I can give people the support that they need. I mean, I remember when I first packed up everything, I'd done my bit of ashram and I went back to see my mum in UK. I didn't drink, I didn't eat meat, I'd gone celibate, and I didn't take drugs. And my mum was really horrified. She said, "Oh, you may as well be dead." I mean, you may as well be dead then. What are you living for? Because she just couldn't get the concept of life without alcohol, basically. My mum liked to have
Mm,
a drink, but yeah, she just couldn't get the concept of it. So when it's someone like your mum, it's really hard for you to move forward. So I really think that a stranger who will become your dear and devoted friend is important for the beginning, in the beginning, because you
mm,
can open up and you can say what you like. And I really hope that I can help anyone and everyone and raise this vibration of the planet before I
yeah.
die. I'm 60. I might only have 10 years.
I
So
got plenty
let's
more to go. Your work here is not done.
I really really, really would love to, even if I only help one person,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I think people listening to this podcast will also feel the compassion and unconditional love that you have for the human condition and the human that's in front of you. Um, And I know, like in my coaching program, I'll coach people one on one until they're ready for group. Because sometimes you do really need that one on one interaction to help them know that it's okay. like, hey, come out of your shell. Look, it's okay to have all this shame and all this, however you've been in your life, and when you're ready, here's a whole bunch of other people who have
Yeah.
also had a similar experience to you. And then once that, like a group dynamic, when people are comfortable in that group dynamic, the shame, the healing from the shame is exponential because everybody's sharing their stories, everyone's validating themselves. So there's like a multiplier effect in group that you can't get on one, and that one is critical to, like, I know you're here for me and I can help you, and I'm gonna be with you as I take your hand and journey you back into yourself down that lotus trail, right?
Yes, and that's the most important thing is I want to hold their hands. I want to
Yeah.
hold them. And my vision for the future eventually is to make a safe place called Tara's Garden where people can actually come and stay with me for as long as they need, and we can work together and do yoga. And my dream would be to have my own vegetable garden, and we can pick food and eat food and just love each other, just build a
Mm,
place of love, really, because the world has lost the love. It's
yeah,
very, you see people, oh, I love you, see you, bye, I love you. But, it's such a word that's thrown around. But the
yeah.
real love, the deep, deep love, the world needs more of that, more of that.
Beautiful, Tara.
Non judging, beautiful openness, love, to just
Yeah,
love people. I feel your suffering. I know you're suffering. I've been there. Please let me help you.
I love it.
That's how I
So
feel.
so if you this is my last question for you, is if you could whisper something into the entire population of the earth, everybody's ear, what is it that you would whisper to them?
To wake up and realize the interconnectedness of all of us, and that it's okay to love each other. You're not going to lose anything.
Mm, I love
And
that.
then come
Thank
and
you,
meet my
Tara.
guru. Come and meet my guru
Come and
and
meet
buy
my
my
guru. And buy my book. What's the name of the book again?
A Lotus Trail by Tara Gardiner
Yes, I love it. A Lotus Trail by Tara Gardiner. Tara, it's been an absolute pleasure. Yes, there's the book. Beautiful cover.
on
Look at you in that little
Amazon.
on Amazon. I'll put the links in. Make sure that you buy a copy. I've checked out the reviews. I haven't read it myself. I checked out the reviews. Everybody loves this book. Like, everybody that reviews this book is like, wow, what an adventure. What a white
And
knuckling
I don't
adventure
know
this is.
them. I honestly don't know any of them. People
I
say,
love
"Oh,
it.
your friends." No, I don't know
No.
any of them. The first review I got was from somebody, and I was like, "Who is this person? What are they saying?" I couldn't believe it. Really, I don't know any of the people that wrote my reviews, honestly.
I love it. I had a look at your reviews, like, this is great. This is fantastic. These people have been really touched by your journey of transformation. So
Yeah,
Tara, is
because a
there
lot
anything
of
else you
people
want
are
to say before
stuck
we
there.
go?
Huh?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I just wish everybody peace and happiness, and I hope we can meet online one day, and I can help
Beautiful.
anybody that needs it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Tara, and sharing your heart and your story, just being all you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And check out my website,
Check out the website. What's it? TaraGardner.org.
.org.
.org.
TARGARIDNER.org.
I love it.
TaraGardiner.org.
I love it. Thank you so much.